The big question is, should you buy a home in 2025 or 2026? That's what we're going to take a look at in this video. If you take a look right here, approximately 2 million auto loan borrowers had a student loan delinquency added to their credit file in Q1 of 2025, in the first quarter of 2025. This is something that I've been preaching, that a lot of people got car loans and mortgages on homes that wouldn't have been able to qualify had the delinquencies for student loans not been frozen, removed off their credit score, stimulus money given, and credit scores artificially increased. Now, you're seeing that happening. You're seeing that it is reshaping. The student loan relief reshapes the auto lending industry. You're seeing that the car payments are being late at the highest level in decades. And right here, 911,000 fewer jobs added, and I'm going to show you a graph in my local housing market. We're going to unpack a lot in this video that's going to give you information of what you should do in 2025 and 2026 and what you can pay attention to. Right here, end of student loan relief reshapes the auto loan industry. Right here, severe delinquencies have been historically high over the last 3 years. And an important change, a clue that something has shifted, causing credit scores at origination to be less predictive of future performance. And what ended up happening was the student loans were removed off of the credit scores. So people had artificially higher credit scores, and showing that they were repaying debt when they weren't, and the stimulus money allowed them to pay down credit cards. The lockdowns allowed them to save money, and these credit scores were artificially inflated, and these lenders could not see, when it came to cars and homes, that these borrowers were not in good standing just a year ago or 6 months ago. That's what they were starting to find out. And right here, you're seeing that approximately 2 million auto loan borrowers had a student loan delinquency added to their credit file in the first quarter of 2025. And 1 of 5 of those consumers saw their credit scores drop 100 points or more overnight. And the 18 to 29-year-old group, nearly 30% of them experienced the same 100-point decline. And with those 18 to 29%, 18 to 29-year-olds, also, 1 out of 7, this was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, 1 out of 7 maxed out their credit cards. Who's going to be a first-time home buyer? First-time home buyers are the beat of the housing market, and they're essentially eliminating, killing the first-time home buyer, and that's why the median age of the first-time home buyer continues to go up into the 40s almost. So you're seeing that the average consumer that bought a house or a car is not in great standing. So these scores right here, they didn't make these consumers riskier. They revealed a risk that had been hidden for several years. It was hidden because the credit score was not showing the delinquency of the student loans. Somebody could have been 3 months, 6 months, a year behind on their student loans, and that was just removed. It was frozen. Reporting was not being done, and everybody's repayment was put on hold. Not a solid buyer if you ask me. And right here, late car payments hit the highest level in a decade. Right here, it's the highest level since Fitch Rating began tracking this data in 1994. Essentially, the highest of all time, since they only started tracking it in 1994, and it's the highest since then. So you're seeing that people are struggling with their car payments at record rate, and the job economy is not doing good. If you're taking a look, the US created 911,000 fewer jobs than previously thought in the 12 months through March. Now, I don't like Biden, I don't like Trump, I don't like politics, I don't like politicians, because they are all in it for themselves. But I'm going to say one thing, they both suck. They're both doing a bad job. Right here, this is Biden's economy from March to March, which means majority of it is Biden's data. And Trump is being, now you're seeing news articles saying Trump has deteriorated a strong economy. Well, he was elected because people are not happy with the economy. However, he's sucking just as bad as the revisions for the weakening U.S. labor market was already in bad standing, as only 29,000, again, 29,000 jobs were added per month in the last 3 months. Essentially, the economy under both presidents has been awful. So anyway, that's united we stand, divided we fall. These politicians need to be held accountable. The deficit that they are just continuously adding to. Both the Democrat and the Republican Party need to be held accountable. They need to be putting America first and America's future first, not their own pockets. So right here, 911,000 fewer jobs created. And if you take a look at this graph right here in my local housing market, if you take a look to the right, look at this spike. So you've been being told that interest rates dropping is going to flood with buyer demand. However, check this out. In my local housing market, look at this spike right here. We've saw a big spike when it was supposed to be buyers coming to the market. It was actually sellers. And that is because they saw that the economy is deteriorating, and maybe with interest rates coming down, these sellers think that they can finally move their house. And the amount of sellers that were taking their home off the market was at record pace. They were taking their home off the market because they weren't able to sell it this year, which means we have an influx of inventory that's going to come to the market in 2026. And we have an influx of inventory that seems potentially could be coming to the market now, as those sellers that maybe took their houses off the market are not going to wait for next year and think that maybe right now is a time for me to put the home back on the market since interest rates are falling. And on my listings, I'm not noticing really that much of an uptick in showings. It's still dead out there. And I have 8 listings. So I have a pretty good pulse on what's going on. And since July, it has been pretty dead. So right here, you're seeing that this inventory is now starting to grow. Job market, awful. 911,000 fewer jobs created from March of 2024 to March of 2025. And we know that the economy was bad under Biden there. It is just as bad under Trump, if not worse, with only 29,000 jobs added per month over the last 3 months. That's awful. And right here, we're seeing that late car payments hit the highest level in decades, or of all time, since 1994, since the recording started happening. We see that the consumers were having their risk hidden, so they were getting mortgages and car loans that they shouldn't have been able to qualify for because their student loans were not being reported. And we're seeing that that has impacted 2 million people just in Q1. And right now, we're wrapping up Q3. So, yikes. And right here, you're seeing it. An important clue was hidden, and student loan relief is reshaping the lending industry or the car industry, because people are now being delinquent. Repos are as high as they were during the Great Recession, 2008, 2009. We have foreclosures that they keep delaying. We are going to have a pulse on that here in the near future. So this is the information you need to follow. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. You're not going to find this information anywhere else, but you're going to want to make sure that you're following what's going on, and you're getting a real estate agent that's going to be showing you what's happening in your local housing market, what's happening with the inventory, what's happening with the under contracts. Is there a pickup? Is there a slowdown? What has happened since July? Are they seeing the slowdown that certain parts of the region or America are seeing? Some areas, there's still pretty good buyer demand out there, but a lot of areas in America are struggling. So you want to make sure you get a real estate agent that's going to actually share this information with you, follow it, and not fearmonger you, and make sure that they're following what's going on in the economy, what's going on with the foreclosures, the car industry, so that way they can actually give you information so that you're not making a decision based out of fear, but you're collecting information. And look, life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you options, and it's your responsibility to see what's happening out there and what you feel comfortable with. So again, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. This kind of information you can't find anywhere else.